See him. Jody, let's go see the Legavon. Come on. Hi guys, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jodilee.
And this is lesson 4, Thursday.
Yes.
So we start our story off for this week's lesson with a guy by the name of Michael or Michael or Michel.
We don't know.
I don't know. It's spelled like Michael but without the A. He's this French guy many years ago, and he's been called in because he's a philosopher, he's a famous writer in France, and the people are debating the idea of whether they should abolish capital punishment. They want to do away with capital punishment, so they get this guy in, Michael, with the name that's spelled different to regular Michael, and they say, dude, write us up some new laws with regards to abolishing capital punishment. So he goes and he says, you know what? I'm going to write it even more than that. I'm going to go one step even further, and I'm just going to write that there is no laws, and essentially sets every prisoner in jail free. And his idea, his thought pattern, his way of thinking was simply just that right and wrong, morality, all these things are just a human construct. That humans came up with these ideas and they don't actually exist, In the evolutionist mind, the idea of morality doesn't exist. There's simply just survival of the strongest. If I'm bigger and tougher than you, I push you aside and I take your lunch money and you can't do nothing about it, okay? And if you get stronger, if you hit the gym, you can push me aside and you take it right back. And that's life, And evolution praises the strong bully. The strong bully eats, the weak person dies, and then it goes on and on and on, and the strong just keep going. And it doesn't necessarily praise, consideration and self-sacrificing. Because in a world of survival of the fittest, self-sacrifice, love, that doesn't get
That
you
means
too
you
far.
die. Like
Exactly.
if there's like two big, I don't know, animals back in the day, and the one's like, oh, I'm going to be kind to you, then the other one kills him, and then that like species dies out, right?
Correct.
What's it? Only the fittest survive.
Correct. And you could make the argument, butterfly. I hope it came on the camera.
Hopefully. It was so pretty.
We both got distracted. Cute puppies distract me, but butterflies distract everyone.
Butterflies are pretty.
So the argument can be made that, actually survival of the fittest, sometimes collaboration and working with other people and showing gratitude and kindness can earn you a favor that can later on be used. But is that really love? That's
No.
again, it's selfishness, So this is what this Michael, spelled funny, was getting at, was that morality isn't a thing. So just let all prisoners free and do your worst. Everyone be yourself, kill, murder, shoot, whatever. But is that a world anyone actually wants to live in? That's pretty extreme. I don't want to live in that world. And the whole idea is if we're going to remove God from our perspective, our view of life, and we remove God, this is the kind of thinking we open ourselves up to. So at some stage, we need to look at God's commandments and we need to say, hey, are these actually bad ideas? And are these actually divine commandments given to us by a higher power that created us? And if they are, should we follow them? Because if we do, I think we can all agree that's a better world than Michael's France. Forgive me. If anyone's French and knows how to pronounce that,
Let us know.
let us know.
So I think, Brandon summarized it really well. And if you guys are like not too sure on the law, then go back and check out last week's lesson studies because we delved into a lot and we had a cool trailer video on Saturday, Sabbath, about kind of the context of the law and how, the law by itself is not good enough. You need the law and Christ, but
Correct.
how it still has a place and it's still relevant even when we save by grace, not works, right?
Amen.
But I just wanted to add like one or two other thoughts. So basically, the hardy task, nature. So basically, there's a book called Judges in the Bible. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it was a time in Israel's history when there was no king and there was no prophets, and God set up these judges. But at that time, kind of everyone did what they want, right? There's a great verse. It's Judges 17 verse 6, and it says, in those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. And that might sound cool, but if you go read the book of Judges, it didn't turn out really well for anybody, okay?
Exactly.
Like that book should actually be like PG, right? There's lots of like hectic stuff because humans can be hectic when we just left our own devices, right? But the Bible teaches us this different worldview, this worldview when we can care about others. Last week Brandon said if you keep the commandments, you're going to make at least other people's lives better, right? And
Correct.
that's like a nice thing. We'd all live more harmoniously. And so yeah, today was just talking about the commandments. Basically, how we believe we got here and where we're going impacts on how we live today, right? Whether we think we should keep the commandments and live in that, like in that structure, okay?
Exactly.
And the last thing I just wanted to, the lesson touched on was those beautiful verses in Mark 12, verse 29 to 31. And if you guys think that the New Testament and the Old Testament aren't the same, there's a very similar verse in Deuteronomy 6, verse 5. But basically, Mark 12, verse 29 to 31, it talks about where Jesus is summarizing the commandments. You guys probably know, right? And he says the first commandment is, okay, I'm going to summarize it for you. Love our God, the Lord is one. No, wait. There we go. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And that summarizes the first 4 commandments, right? And then the second part, it says the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, and that's basically what God's law is asking us to do. Okay, and it makes sense. But in a world that a lot of other worldviews promote, it doesn't often lend itself towards caring about others and thinking about others, right? So yeah, that's just something for you guys to think of. For me, the 10 Commandments make sense. What God teaching me makes sense. And so yeah, that's all I have to say.
Amen. Can you say one more thing?
What?
A prayer for us?
Okay, I'll do that. Guys, Dear Lord, thank you so much that you cared not just about how we got here and where we're going, but you also cared about making this life on this world a little bit better. Even though there's sin and there's so much pain and suffering, Lord, you gave us a framework where we could really make other people's lives better and make our own as well by just sticking to some rules that you gave us, Lord. And yeah, without you, those doesn't really make sense to kind of keep them. But we hope that you'll open our eyes and show us all that you have to teach us from them and show us how to live our lives. Amen.
Amen.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, and by the way, there's a Legovan over there.
It's so cool.
And he's huge.
He's really big. He's like this big.
We'll go show you
If we were
guys.
fishermen, he'd be like this big.
This. Let's go see the Legovan. Come on. Whoopsie daisies.
We were filming, and then there was a cool Legovan, so now we're gonna show you guys him. He's in the bushes there, on the grass. Can you see him?
It's very difficult to see. He is just
There, yeah.
right there.
You can see if
Boom.
we can get a bit closer.
Yeah.
Quite friendly. Most of the time.
Most of the time. Yeah. So there he is. And he's rather large. He's quite a big boy. There he is, our Legovan friend. Mini crocodile. Just relaxing way off there in the distance in the sand.